Hey guys, this is Tina B.
And Charmaine G.
We're here to talk about the messiness of life. It's ugly.
And it's raw.
It's real.
And it's a freaking game.
It's whack-a-mole.
Whack-a-mole!
Whack-a-mole.
Whack-a-mole!
Whack-a-mole.
Whack-a-mole!
This is us.
And our gift to you.
Hi, here we are. Woo!
Am I on? Oh, I'm on.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, you're on.
Miss
You're always
me,
on,
miss
aren't
me.
you?
Now you gotta kiss me.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
Where have you been?
I know. It's all your fault.
Oh my gosh.
I think everyone in the room has a little bit of fault, you guys. Sorry, we've been living life.
Living life, for sure. I've got big things jumping off in my life, which I'm not going to address today, but there's
Tony?
some things that are jumping off in
Happy,
my life.
good things.
Good, wonderful things, absolutely. And so does Charmaine. Charmaine has wonderful things going on in her life as well.
What?
Come on.
Okay.
She's like honeymooning every other week. She goes on a honeymoon every other week.
Oh, no. I'm working.
Oh, you're doing that too. I
Yeah.
know you are doing that too. So she's juggling the honeymoon and the directorship.
Wait, honeymoon? Did I miss something?
Yeah, I got married.
No, she did not. Stop it.
Wow. All right.
I'm off the market. It didn't last long, did it?
I call it that because they don't see each other all the time. So every couple of weeks, correct me if I'm wrong, one goes there
We fly.
or he comes here. So that's a honeymoon.
Dangerous dating.
What do you
You
mean?
know what?
do you mean?
That
That's
is-
the perfect scenario.
that-
I
I know that's perfect scenario for dating,
Yeah.
or even for marriage.
Okay.
Okay, see each other once a week, twice a month tops. I mean, that's a perfect marriage. But no, that's how I did it. My first wife was long distance dating,
Really?
and it was always like, oh, I miss you, and then the weekends were just like fire, and then we'd have to wait,
Yeah.
and then once we got married, it's like, oh, that's what you're like.
It's always that.
Oh my
It's always that leave them wanting more business.
Yeah. If we call it
That's-
craving.
It's just wonderful.
Now you've got me freaking worried.
Something about the 2% cow. I don't know. I forget that.
Oh my
I'll
gosh.
milk your cow
Yeah.
right there.
Okay, I can't establish a connection. So the last time we really need to just catch up and pick up where we left off because we left a subject dangling out there. It was just hovering.
Love it.
We talked about social media and a little bit of the mental health behind it. And so what I really wanted to talk about was social media, how it has affected my children.
Okay. And I'm
Just
gonna,
that aspect of it.
I like that
for a
angle.
moment.
And I think the benefit that we talked about was why people use it. What are some scenarios and the benefits of it? I mean, it can be a connection to the world. It may not be somebody that you can touch and see and feel, but you have a connection. You have an audience. And some people need that attention. Some people thrive when it's good attention or negative attention. However, though, I would love your contribution of how it's affecting your family or your children specifically. I won't even let my kids have an account online. They're young still, though.
Oh, you mean, but your kids have a device,
They do have a device.
but they don't have social media.
No social
Okay.
medias. Not yet. I know they'll get there. My son wants to be a professional YouTuber, but
God bless him.
I
Oh, I
know.
love it.
and I think he would be good. But I have to say that I'm going to talk about the cause and effect of social media, how many hours a day people are typically on it, all age ranges, but the infidelity, the affairs, the marriages, the consequences that we are totally in the pathway of our lives because of how much it is happening.
We talked about this before, is that you don't have to have a lot of courage to be on social media. I mean, that's where all of this, some of it is good courage, I would imagine, but there's a lot of trolling, a lot of saying things you wouldn't say to somebody's face.
Brave. Yeah.
And then there's the mental health behind that. And let's talk about what you were just talking about likes for a second.
Yeah.
Likes or even an argument. Okay. Now I've argued with people online. We talked about that last time with the political season, the political climate, and so on and so forth. And I can see how, I mean, it changes my heart, like when I'm engaged in it. It physically changes my heart when I'm engaging in that kind of a thing. Then there's I'm going to post a picture for shits and giggles. Seriously. But I can't get past, I shouldn't say I can't get past because that's not completely true. But I'm intrigued on who's looking at it, what they're saying about it. And it's not a big secret that I don't like to be photographed and I don't like that kind of thing. So recently I posted this selfie with no makeup, just some eyeliner and mascara. And I looked at it and I was like, well, that's you. And so why not just post it? That's who I am. Because I felt like I was probably hiding behind some image from 1998 or something silly.
Where you want to
like,
be.
Yeah. And that's not the fact of my life. The fact of my life is that I'm aging. So let's go back to the courage and trolling part of it. Did you want to talk about that?
Well, I think you hit it on the head when people have the courage to make comments, even if it doesn't pertain to them. They just have to be involved. And I've seen relationships and friendships and things quickly dissolve after that. Feuds, family feuds. And I only say that it's not just you that's making the comment and it's changing how you feel and your behavior. You're in a home and other people are getting that side effect too. So I can picture when you made that comment, Tina's ravaging about Trump and Biden and just flailing off at the arms and Greg and everybody's here and you're like, oh shit, here it comes, you know. But in all actuality, like we think we're in our own little bubble, but we're not.
No. There's somebody that he is my oldest friend since I was, by my oldest friend, I mean the oldest friend that I've had sustained contact with since 1981.
Oh yeah, the guy from high school. Yeah.
Well, he's older than me, but there's that guy too.
Oh.
He's just a friend. He's just a friend of mine. But this person was like a member of my family for the most part. He's from Boston and he's Italian and our brothers were friends, our moms were friends, and I was friends with him. And this last fall, I said I wanted to I watched each debate so that I could have an intelligent conversation. Now, what I meant by that was that I wanted to have like water cooler talk. Like, I don't want to talk about the budget deficit or like, I don't want to get so deep, a big deep dive into it, but I don't want to maybe overhear I just want to be able to have an informed conversation.
Sure.
In short. Sure. Okay. Well, he started posting, and you want to have an intelligent conversation? Let's have an intelligent conversation. And it was just so. And
you lit him up,
and
didn't you?
well, yeah, and like I was like, no, you don't understand. Like that's not what I'm talking about. And there was just a lot of communication back and forth, and on our phones, not just on social media. But like I don't talk to him anymore.
Ah, sad.
And it is sad. And I've reached out. I think he might have blocked me. Like, it wasn't that bad. We weren't swearing. I wasn't being nasty, but. I want to talk about this too, because when I do think about that, there's some gaslighting that goes on.
Yeah.
There's some, like one of his comments was, well, you're just an angry person. Okay, well, first of all, duh.
I am.
No, that's just, I do have passion about some things and I have anger about other things. Now, my anger, this wasn't about anger. That's not what that was about.
Well,
this was about, don't go stalking on my page and try to teach me what you think I need to know about your president. I don't want to hear it. I just don't do that. It's unsolicited bullshit.
Sure, it's unsolicited, but remember what I said is that you want privacy on the most exposed platform in the world. Impossible.
You're right.
So, I mean, it comes with the territory. And that's unfortunate. I hope you guys get reunified and
me too.
Yeah, right off into the sunset. So my thing is that you can't, when you have emotions and they're hard to express through social media and typing and texting, and everybody thinks there's cryptic messages in any post that you do these days.
Yeah.
So the time, I call it a time thief. Because if you look at your phone, it tracks how long you've been on each website and daily and things like that. Kids these days, 10, 11 hours. How many hours are they awake and how many hours are they in school? And then whatever's left over is being filled by social media.
It hurts my heart.
It does.
It hurts my heart because it is what television was for us in the late 70s, early 80s, at least for me. And it was all about, like, my mom would literally come in the room. Like, Saturday morning, we would be watching cartoons from 7 o'clock until 11 a.m. But there were times she'd come in at like 9:30 or 10 o'clock and just, when TVs had a button, yes, I am very old.
Yeah.
But she would just come in and go, bam, get dressed and go outside. And that was it. Now, like, I remember telling Sam a few years ago, I don't have these issues with her anymore, but I'm like, give me your phone. And she would, like, turn purple. No. And excuse me. Like, am I going to have to wrestle you to the ground?
Yeah.
Give me your phone. Give me your phone. Give me your phone. It's like, and then they turn into, like, a demon. I mean, it was a part of my child I just didn't want to see. And then it was stomping and tantrum and, and all of that. But then, like anything else, and like me when I was a kid, that after an hour or so, I was like, I wasn't thinking about it anymore.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like a short withdrawal period, that things happen. My son's the same way with his PlayStation, but we use the access to those as a weapon or an incentive, like grounding
100%.
them or turn it off.
Yes.
And it's so sad that we have to use that tool just to be a part of our kids' lives.
100%.
I hate that. And I mean, that's the world we're living in. It's not going to go away. I feel like it's going to get faster, more aggressive.
I couldn't pick that TV up and hold it away from my mother. Like when she popped the
That
thing
big old
and say you're
console.
right. She was just like, yeah, it's done, and
Yeah.
she had the authority, and so okay, I guess we're done. But now these are they're handheld devices.
Yeah.
So they're
accessible anywhere.
Oh, my
at
gosh.
all hours of the night.
and that was a whole other thing. I mean, there's. Not a lot of good stuff is happening at night for kids, you know.
No, I grew up and my mom would always say, Charmaine, nothing good happens after midnight. That's the devil's time.
Mm-hmm.
And I say, well, every hour is midnight. I mean, I was reading on some things recently. Do you know who Tim Ballard is?
Mm-mm.
So Operation Underground. He's
Oh, I do.
Yeah,
sure,
yeah.
I do. Yeah.
Just excellent strength of an example of a human being, because his heart's in the right place to save, and it happens.
He spoke here last year. I wanted him to come on our podcast. I remember wanting him to.
He was
thinking
part
if
of
we
our
could
event
book
that we
if
had.
we could book him, but we were in our infancy then. So.
Yeah, and he honestly, he goes on these covert missions, and so many agencies are involved in finding these big sex trafficking rings, and 98% of them are formed online.
It's crazy.
Like online, and they have satellite areas, sites to where they form these groups that will relocate to the next area and do another,
that's
kidnapping
dedication. I mean, that's
and those things. And not only that, the access to your kids by a stranger. I don't know how many times I'm like, who are you chatting with? Who is that? Are they a real person, or have you talked to them? Do you know their name? Are they a child? Are they adult? And that's how I have to talk to my kids these days. They have a whole week designated in their school that's for internet safety. A whole week. It's
That's
not
awesome.
just say no to drugs anymore.
right.
It's like they call it the White Week, to talk about the awareness of, people that can coerce them to leave their homes. And I mean, just so they're really conscientious about how it's right at their doorsteps. It's at their fingertips, and they're innocent, and they won't, and my sweet little girl, Myra, she says, and it's so sad because she goes, my friends are waiting to talk to me. I'm like, oh yeah? Who are your friends? She's like, online. And she's 9, just barely turned 9. I'm like, what's their names? Angel Wolf and da-da-da.
Oh,
and I'm
my
like,
goodness.
So she
Wow.
plays these fairy tale games. But however, they literally chat, and I have to stand over her shoulder just to make sure it's
not some
a
guy
pervert.
catfishing.
just
your
because she
kid.
wants to have fun.
Yeah.
And that's her fun. And I'm so scared to death of that. Let's
yes.
add on there that the bullying, the sexting.
Oh my goodness.
The many things that children do for, well, I can't even say it's entertainment, but it's almost like there's no limits. Like they can reach and destroy.
It's the world in their palm of their hand.
Yeah.
And it's the disgusting underbelly of it. It's what you see when you turn over a log that's been sitting there forever. It's just crawling with
Moldy.
worms and mold and undesirable things. I don't want to diss on nature because that can also be seen as a beautiful thing, that particular scenario. But my thing was that I continue to read articles, even locally here in St. George, Utah, which is a pretty small place, but we're a gateway between like Salt Lake City and Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
We're just outside of Vegas. So, and what do we call Vegas? What is Vegas called? Sin City. So, and we all go there for different things. Like I love to go shopping there. I love to, you just escape and, all of that.
I buy my prostitutes. Just kidding. Sean, get off your phone. We're talking about
He
that.
doesn't care about us anymore.
I'm sorry.
But there's a lot of articles that I've read where they have these stings and they're busting, and some, like the most popular one for kids is that these pedophiles get on is called Kik, the Kik app.
Oh, you told me about that.
Yeah. And so they get on
Scary.
there and it's so scary. And I mean, that is the equivalent of some guy in a trench coat at the park from when I was a kid. Do you know what I mean? That there was always that creepy guy that was, talking to the kids too much or
but
just
you
was
talk about-
hanging around.
You talk about the trench coat. How many people wore trench coats? Trench coats. Everybody wore trench coats.
Well, they did in the
except for
80s,
that
they did.
creepy
Yeah.
guy,
Yeah.
da-da-da. And you talk about Kik, and you talk about some of these other things. Yeah, I mean, there's lots of messaging avenues out there online, and it's just like obviously the guy who made Kik or whatever, or it's like no, it wasn't supposed to be a pedophile thing, but that's where they
No.
communicate.
Yes.
Yeah, the
And
creatures
so
will
whether
go there.
whether it's
yeah.
Kik or whether it's hanging out at the park in the 80s with the creepy guy in the trench coat, it's the same mentality. So how do you defend against? I mean, you can't point your finger at social media just like you can't point your finger at trench coats.
I'm just saying,
I
honestly, it makes
hear
it a
you.
lot more accessible and like an
Oh, yeah, it's way
invisible
more
face
accessible.
behind it to where it takes, well, number one, innocence, and it can cause so much damaging. Did you know that 1 in 3 marriages are caused from an online affair? Divorces.
1 in
failed
3?
marriages. One
That
in
number
3.
seems low.
1 in 3. Study
Just
just,
the ones that
done.
got caught.
Crazy.
Just done
Right,
in 20,
right.
Yep, in 2020, July of 2020, a study that was just done. And if you see a spike in increase of Facebook accounts, you see a spike in divorce rates of 4.28%. Just Facebook.
But then we mock the people who have joint accounts.
I know. I was one of them. And as soon as I split my
Joint
account,
accounts? What do you mean?
Colin Sherman.
Oh, okay, right.
And as soon as I split my account,
Mr. and Mrs. because she
he
doesn't
kept all
trust
the
me.
damn friends, and I'm like, they're not even your friends after the divorce, and it became such a tug of war of who's gonna get the social media
Wow.
friends, and it was ridiculous because it was just more of a principle and a control point,
yeah.
and I said, have them, and that's when the world kind of started saying, what's going on in their marriage? They don't have a Facebook account anymore. They separated. Unreal how you can identify what's going on in someone's life just by the status on your Facebook.
You can't have privacy and be connected to the world.
No.
No, you can't.
Pick one of we mock the people who live out in Burl Junction,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
and because they have no power, no water, and they live by themselves, well, they have no Facebook and they're off the grid.
And
So,
I
I
bet
kinda
they're
like
happier.
that.
And they have their privacy.
Yes.
Try walking on their land at 2:00 in the morning. They'll tell
Yeah.
you how
Oh,
private
yeah.
they
Oh,
are.
yeah.
Right. Wow.
Get
But
off
then you have
my
somebody here
land.
that has 1,000 Facebook friends. I'm like, I want my privacy and my 1,000 friends. I'm like, really? Come on.
And
Well-
that's come on. What kind? 1,000 friends.
if you're
when
going
you
to-
think about that, you probably have 2 or 3 people in your life you consider a friend.
Right.
Really. I go through my friends every few years and I'm like, I don't even know who this person is.
Yeah, delete, gone, bye.
Yes.
I do the same thing.
Yes.
But I also have my friends on Facebook, but then I also have my associates, people that are like, you know what, I can reach out to you. If I happen to be in Arizona, I can call them and be like, hey, I'm in town, haven't talked to you in 10 years, let's go out to eat.
Remember when it
And
was
then
just
not
high
talk to
school
them again.
reunions? You had to go to your high school reunion to see how somebody was doing.
Yeah. I don't even know if they do those, but they're going to start doing virtually, I'm sure. But, Zoom reunion.
Right.
With the stats that I seen in here, I agree with the 1 in 3. I mean, that's a third of a chance. And the divorce rate is accelerating. And I do believe it's because it's a secret. Like, you can keep it a secret long than doing a physical and an emotional affair and an attachment it's how you define an affair.
Hold on a second, back up. So you said 1/3 of divorces
Start with an online
start
affair.
with an online affair. Okay, so how do we take that same percentage and apply that to the 90s or 80s or 70s or 60s? What was the overriding thing that, it's like, 1/3 of people that met in the bar started an affair. 1/3 of people that met at a golf course.
Probably
Work.
workplace.
Yeah.
So now it just happens to be this is the convenient place to find your side hustle.
Well,
I guess.
So, I mean,
Yeah.
you can have these dating site accounts. You can get on all these profiles. The
just easier.
statistics we're saying, though, is it's people that you know. It's not strangers. It's people that you know, like the high school
Okay, I
friend
see
reaching back out to you and the connection, and you're having a lull in your marriage, and the excitement and that craving and all that things get spiked up. It was also saying that married couples that do not use social media accounts are 11% more happier in their marriages. Basically, they spend their time.
That's it, 11%?
I know.
Yeah, that's not worth it.
I mean,
Sean.
I get 15 by eating too much, I don't know.
dopamine from the food makes me happy. I just think that it's very interesting because I really feel like there's so many pros to social media, but there's just as equal of cons.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Well, if it wasn't for that damn printing press, we wouldn't have pornography. Why'd they have to start printing words on paper? Who thought of that crap?
I'm telling you.
Now we
picture
have-
Playboy magazines. What they don't even do those
That's
anymore,
right.
do they?
And you know what? Every heroin user started with milk. That's why milk is a gateway drug.
What are
Oh
you
my gosh,
smoking?
wow.
That is
Oh, that-
not true.
Everybody who's ever done heroin started by drinking milk.
Come on.
Everybody drank milk as a baby.
I'm making
is what he's saying.
a slippery slope argument. I'm just making a point saying that these things, social media has its good points, like you were saying.
Yeah.
Just like printed words, just like trench coats. They all have their purpose. The problem is we have bad people using them for bad reasons.
That's true.
But I think any community, if you're Catholic, if you're in a 12-step group, if you're a part of, any community that organizes and comes together, you have to have that opposition. There's always going to be the guy requesting nudes, as well as maybe the guy who just wants to make friends.
And donate
do you
money.
see- yeah,
Or- yeah.
there's just, it's every
It's
community.
people.
That's who
It
we
puts
are.
them in
It's
a mass
human.
place, though, to freaking.
So you can't blame social media.
No.
But you can teach your children. It's like not avoid, but learn how to make wise decisions with.
Yes.
But it's almost
hard
like
part.
I'm seeing now that a child coming into this world this year, I've given this a lot of thought,
Ooh, yeah.
is, a child coming into this world this year,
Children of the Corn.
children of
I
the
love that
corn.
show growing up, I did.
But I liked what you did.
Malachi.
You
Yeah,
missed
okay,
it.
sorry.
He
What?
said corn.
Corn. Children of the Corn.
Children of the quarantine.
Yeah. Okay. So children being born now.
They are coming into a world that my 15-year-old is like, you need to settle down. to me, I'm just like, I fought with my brother because he was constantly picking up the extension. That was him spying on my life, very quietly picking up, the extension.
And now
to
he has a
listen to
job
my-
at the NSA.
And but people are peeping on other people in a different way, but it is the same thing. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah, it is. I want to know if it's boredom, if it's excitement, why people are on there so
We'll
much.
be back.
This is Whack-A-Mole with Tina B and Charmaine G. Raw discussion about the messiness of life. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with more Whack-A-Mole. We welcome you back to Whack-A-Mole. Raw discussions about the messiness of life. Now, here are your hosts, Tina B and Charmaine G.
That was on.
Charmaine.
I said it online.
Yeah, you did.
I did. I
Charmaine said
apologize.
the F word.
Yeah.
Get a handle on that, could you?
Okay, so we concluded really quick with the tapering off of why are we using it so much? Why do people just gel on there and have to just live?
It's like being strung out.
you know how
strung
Sam
out.
was acting?
Mhm.
It's because of an addiction. Don't you think it's an addiction?
100%.
How, okay,
100%.
They actually have algorithms, Facebook and their data collection process, to see how often you ding after you make a post, how soon you look back to look at your comments, and how you'll like other people's comments on your.
Hey, that was in that
In
documentary.
The Social Dilemma.
Yeah,
Mhm.
was that real?
It is
Or-
very real.
Or was that just that,
No.
we think there is?
No,
No, I
it's
think
very
it's-
real.
yeah.
There was
Yeah,
a
probably. Oh,
friend
that's-
of
oh,
mine
that's-
that worked for Google, and they do the same concepts of building, but she attests that Facebook goes way beyond guidelines just to collect this information. And
But you agree to that.
Yes, you do.
You
because
And you
there's
have to opt
voluntarily
out of it.
No, no,
1,000
if you
tiny
want-
words to
you-
read.
If you want to read, if you want to be a part of Facebook,
Yeah.
there's a whole thing that says all the things that they're going to do, and you can agree to that. If you
Yeah.
don't want that invasion of privacy,
Yeah.
then you don't use Facebook. It's a private entity. I don't like Denny's. They should start serving pizza on the weekends. No, that's Denny's. They're not going to do it. Same
No,
thing with
no.
Facebook.
Yeah.
So if it's not going to go your way, it's a private entity. They
Have
can
you
do what they
ever
want.
noticed that I know that they have a lot of lawsuits that come up because every once in a while you'll get an alert, not from Facebook, but from people saying, hey, they're now blasting your telephone numbers out. You got to go here, here, and here to say, I am not included in this. So you're protecting your own private
Wait,
information.
but is that actually a true thing? It's like, hey, you better post this, otherwise it's gonna be.
Not those. I'm
those are
talking
fake.
about your privacy settings. So a lot of those come because they're flying under the radar on some of their new launches of data collection and things. And so with that, you have to go in and opt out because your first consent, but then for them to say, well, they never opted out of it because they keep getting away with doing all these things. I only say that this is
It's like your car. You have to take care of your car. Your car is always changing, and you have to be aware of what's going on. If you expect us to get in your car and have it work perfectly the same way as you bought it 20 years ago, you're a fool. If you're not paying attention to what your social media is doing and then blame it for something, it's part of it is your fault.
I agree to that. Now, when it comes to, like we were discussing this before we started tonight, along with the podcast comes, marketing. And what's the best
Yeah.
way to market?
Yeah.
The free way to market is to do it on Instagram, to do it on Facebook, to do it. And how it's almost unavoidable. I mean, there's no way you have to be savvy. You have to be social media savvy.
Yeah.
In order to
Succeed in a social media world.
You do.
You do.
You have
And
to.
it's a money maker. That's all I got to say. If you have enough followers and you'll get sponsored and picked up by Instagram, and next thing you know, you're getting checks in the mail.
So it's okay to make money off of social media, but it's not okay. But it's also okay to complain about how they make their money. So if you're getting money from social media, it's partly because of these privacy settings you're talking about.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
And so if you're like, I'll take the check, it's kind of hypocritical.
It's like one thing
I'm
is
not getting a
attached to another
freaking
thing.
check.
No, we're not getting
But
checks, but please
Wait,
send some
hey,
if you
listeners,
feel the need.
if you could please sign up to our
Right,
Facebook
please.
account and subscribe today. I have to say, I want to add on to not just the marketing thing. It is a huge, valuable tool, and I got this thing in my office. It's Trump. Have I played it for you?
Yes.
You push the button. It's all like, "We're gonna drain the swamp today." I can't mock. I can't do his impersonation really well, but one of them says, "Oh, I love it. It's like having 1,000 newspapers, and all I have, it's free. It's like free newspapers. I Twitter all day, and I love it." And that is absolutely true. But what are you tweeting? Like what? Not just Trump. I'm talking about what are you posting on there? Like, are you representing yourself? Are you?
It doesn't matter as long as you get the likes.
Okay, that leads me back.
Do you
to
really?
my-
I want to ask if you really feel that way. Honestly, when you post something, because I follow you on Facebook,
Okay.
and you post funny things.
Okay.
You are really funny.
I post funny things.
Yes.
Do I post divisive things?
No.
For the most part.
No, I wouldn't say that.
Do
no.
I post deeply personal things?
No.
No, and I can't stand that either.
Yeah. So I'm not giving spiritual quotes or anything, and I'm not talking about my political opinions. But yeah, my Facebook it tries to be middle of the road and funny. Something
Neutral.
that anybody
Yeah.
can
That's important.
anybody can laugh
Yeah,
at.
yeah.
And and I'll have people that start fighting on my Facebook page over certain posts, and I'll tell them to shut up and I'll delete their comments. I'm like, I don't want your
Yeah,
fighting.
yeah, yeah.
I had a Dixie name change fight happen on my page, and I had to tell both of them to shut up. And one of them
That was controversial.
it was totally controversial. It was. I took a pic. It was a protest last week. I took a picture of the people protesting
Yes.
for, people protesting against, and my post said two sides of the Dixie coin. That's all it said, and
Ooh.
that was enough to get two people fighting on my page. I'm like, that's not me. So I'm not looking for likes exactly. I'm looking for people to appreciate my humor. If I want likes, then yeah, let me get political and let me do the Tony Chambers thing and just go completely nuts.
Who's
And,
Tony Chambers?
Dixie Direct, he posts. Oh yeah, look him up. It's all kinds
Okay.
of fun here in town. Yeah, if you want to get political and get those likes,
He owns Dixie Direct.
but I don't post just to get likes. Yes, I like the likes, but I want people to appreciate the humor, not the
But
like
you don't
only.
live off of your recognition of your posts. What she's
No.
asking is you're not living for the likes and the recognition.
No, and I am really aware of
To me,
I'm
that's
a-
an insecurity thing.
I'm really aware that that's why I don't post that much, because I don't want to feel obligated to monitor it and go, oh, how many people saw it? And if only 3 people saw it, I mean, it's just like what we're doing here. You know, either 1,000 people are going to listen or 5 people are going to listen. And how is that going to affect me
Right.
and my self-esteem?
Right.
Which is fragile on a given day. I mean, I think that's the human condition, you know? I think
Yeah.
that anybody could really
Well,
say
you can
that.
feel you can have rejection just by you not getting the likes. You can feel like you're
Hell yeah, you
rejected.
can.
Well,
Hell
let-
yeah.
Let me show you the other side of social media, and this is my insecurity. This is an app called Who Deleted Me.
You
This-
were talking
Yeah.
about
This
this.
it shows me who added and deleted me, or blocked me, or closed their accounts.
I don't want to know any of
Today,
that.
yesterday, 7 days, 30 days, and since I've had it. I've had, I don't know how many years I've had this. 178 people be removed from my friend list and 329 be added.
Wow.
And in the last 30 days, -5 plus 8. And then I can just click on it and see who it was. These are the people that are no longer my friends, and these are the people that are new friends or reunited friends.
Does that affect you? Knowing
Yes,
all that?
it does. It does. I talked about the 2 people
Thank you
fighting
for
on my
being
page.
honest.
Yeah.
One of them is, was a semi-associate. He was a professional acquaintance, whatnot. And so I see that he unfriended me. And I was like, oh. And then the next day I clicked on his thing just to double check, and he didn't just unfriend me. He then blocked me after that.
You hurt his feelings.
And I was
He
like,
really doesn't like you.
what the, whoa.
Yeah.
And I'm
But
like,
I've done that. I've done that to people.
the
For
way
something that small?
No, I don't know.
I told these two guys to shut up. That was it. And that was enough for him to get butthurt. So yeah, I mean, all that Facebook is just a bunch of butthurt people hurting each other because hurt people hurt people.
Play nice in the sandbox, everyone.
Yeah, it's true. It's an open forum for anybody to show up to. It's an open forum for anybody to say any cheesy, stupid ass thing that they want to say. And this has been my experience. I had a Twitter account. I've had 2 Twitter accounts. And I don't go on Twitter very much, but I have in the past. Now, there was back when a couple of years ago when they were talking about a pregnant woman having a late abortion if the mother's life was endangered. Do you remember when that was happening? I want to say 3 or 4 years ago. I commented on which I never do, on a celebrity's Twitter account. And I said, I used to like you, but I don't anymore. Ooh. Which I thought when I said it, now this is how aware I can be. I'm not always on this way. But when I sent it, something happened in my heart. Like, I didn't feel right about sending it. Well, 10 minutes, 15 minutes later, I'm getting, all these people, who the you think you are? And I mean, I was like, oh my gosh, I felt so bad. I wanted to just apologize to this person that I don't even know, to say, I'm sorry, I probably shouldn't have said that. I mean, I deleted the comment and I did not like the way that it made me feel as a human being with my moral character, and I've said mean things to lots of people. In that arena, in that scenario, it didn't feel right or honest for me to do that.
Whatever you put on someone's page or your own page, you're subjugated to the response. It can be a positive, unintentional response, or it can be, I misread you, my perception's way off, and we're in conflict response.
Yeah. Or it can be, I'm out to get you, and I want to claw your eyes out in a public forum. Because who's not reading that stuff? Because I've gotten caught up in, oh my God, look what she said, and that's funny, and oh my hell, and this really went to a...
But I've seen people recently damage careers. I mean, over accusations that were false. And you're like freedom of speech, defamation of character. Were all those things that when you actually have a great side effect from somebody else's just freedom of speech and putting it out there, honestly, you can create fake accounts. You can be deviant, very deviant, and in that underworld.
It's like crank calling.
Crank calling
before caller ID.
Because
crank calls went down after caller ID.
Yeah,
Did it
but
really?
remember doing
Star
that? Don't you
69.
remember?
You can block
and
that.
the courage that you had, like to call somebody and go, you disguise your voice and go, you're a fucking asshole. Bam!
Wow, you're mean. I just
never
called
said
and went,
that.
hello. But I
Yeah,
was
well,
like 6
you're a
at the
creepy dude with a deep voice.
Yeah, when I was 12 at the time.
I remember calling the local deli, this Italian deli, and asking them if they had, this is horrible, if they sold Fromunda cheese. Do you know what that is?
Oh, God.
And the lady literally, it was like out of a scene in a movie. Do we carry Fromunda cheese? She was like, I don't know. Let me check. And we were giggling at 12 and 13 years old. So I guess it is kind of.
I love it. And I'm going back to, Pew Trust. You guys know who Pew Trust is, right? So basically, they're the biggest nationwide researcher, worldwide, international research.
What's it called?
Pew Trust. So they do all
Surveys
kinds
and
of
stuff.
studies, a lot of research. It's a
Pew,
research
like
group.
Pew? Like
PEW, Pew.
Okay.
I guess pew pew. Their research was to answer the question that I left off with: why do people use so much social media? And you said it was boredom, right, Sean?
Mm-hmm.
Tina, what was your answer?
For what?
Why do people use so much social media?
I think it's boredom as well. I think for me, I'm answering for myself that I also know that I will be sitting here consuming something on television and on my phone at the same time. So it makes me think, well, you really can't quiet the fuck down. You know, you really can't be idle for too long.
Yeah.
My kids are big on that. Marissa is big on that. Often I have a bunch of people at my house eating. Kids.
They eat
Young
kids at your
adults.
house?
Young adults.
They eat young adults? No, I'm just kidding.
And I will always, you know, I'll go, oh, do you want me to turn Alexa on? Put some music on? And they're like, no. I'm like, it is so quiet in here. And I get that, but I don't expect them to get that. I
Yeah.
don't expect them to have that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That philosophy of I like
The
quiet.
silence.
Yeah.
We don't have to fill every moment
The sound
of silence.
Okay, 67% of this study says the major reason is staying in touch with current friends. 64% staying in touch with family members. 50% connecting with old friends you've lost touch with.
Wait. Those numbers aren't adding up.
Well, I'm telling you.
You're like at 300% already.
Okay. Well, you've got
gosh.
major reason. Listen.
It's like an
major,
election.
minor,
Don't piss her off,
major,
please.
minor. Yeah, yesterday was a. Boop, boop, boop,
I
boop,
wasn't
boop,
even
boop.
around. I'm really sorry I missed that.
I yelled so loud.
Charmaine lost her mind yesterday.
I became hoarse. Not a horse, but horse. Major reason, minor reason, not a reason. So the
Okay.
major reason, staying in touch with current friends, family members. Third is connecting with old friends you've lost touch with. Connecting with others with shared hobbies or interests. So groups.
Yes.
What was the
Organizations.
question? Why do I have social media, or why do or reason
What,
I
what
use?
why do I use it? What motivates
Okay, because
me to use
those
it?
reasons are reasons why I have it. I
Yes.
have social media to keep
Agree.
in contact.
But what motivates
But
you to use
I
it?
use it because I've read all the shampoo bottles while pooping.
Exactly.
Is that
Ditto.
not like wash your freaking phone? That's all I gotta say.
I got a bidet, so it's okay.
Oh, bidet in. It's okay. Clear your rear. We should do an infomercial on that one.
She came right out with that. Did you hear that?
Okay. And then the fourth is making new friends. Fifth is reading comments.
Oh my
by
gosh,
celebrities, athletes, or politicians.
And I have friends who would they love the comment stuff.
Yeah.
They feed off of reading other people's
Yeah.
agitation.
It's like in an
It
entertainment
is fun.
section.
I have
Yeah.
to say.
No, I can't. I'll like go away. Don't even care what you have to say. These
Really?
people that were fighting on my, I don't even know what they were fighting about in specifics.
Yep, not
I'm
enough
like-
time.
I'm like, fight, go away.
Yep.
Don't care. Anyway, sorry.
30% finding potential romantic or dating partner.
That should be like 33%.
I agree. I mean, even if you tie it to the connecting with old friends,
Yeah.
it can go right
Wait,
up there.
isn't your boyfriend an old friend?
Hey, you know what? Yeah, I got a great love story for you guys, viewers. It's not going to be this
Viewers.
episode.
I love how she says viewers when they can't see us.
They used to until Tina doesn't like to be
Oh.
seen.
I can hit the camera button right now.
No.
Do it.
Please
No,
don't.
do it. So, no,
Make me upset.
I did not know him off of social media. I do know
But you
him
knew him
in
in third-
real life.
in,
He
like,
is a
middle
real
school.
life person.
Volleyball class, right?
No, sir. It was when I was in my late 20s, and he was at war. So it's a Notebook story. It's so good. I'm looking for. By the way, I'm going to put the feelers out there. I'm looking for a writer that can write my story, my love story, because I want it into a novel.
Are you serious?
I do. I'm serious. I'm looking for somebody that can write the story. It's
I'll
beautiful.
narrate it.
I could see that actually.
I'll narrate it. That's
Um,
good.
No, I'm glad that you pointed that out though, because after 15 years of the apocalypse, I'll just call it the great apocalypse, he did reach out on social media. That's how he found me. I was surprised that he found me because my name's changed and all
Oh,
these
that's how we
things.
find. And that I've gone down a rabbit hole with that before too. And
Looking for someone?
yes, just looking, and it wasn't like a love story, or
Sure.
it's just maybe
wanna
having
know
a
what they're
conversation with
doing.
another friend and go, whatever happened to that motherfucker? Let's check this out. And just looking and looking and looking and not being able to, and then ending up in some other time zone with
Well, I had that
because
happen
then you
to me.
click here and you click there and you click this and
I had a high school friend die a few months ago and reconnected with a bunch of old high school friends I
Yeah.
haven't talked with. And there was a girl from my 4th grade class. And I was like, oh, hey, I know her. And I wasn't friends with her at the time, but I remember her and stuff. I didn't reach out, didn't contact her. Ended up talking to a mutual friend. And then he ended up telling me some of the most horrible stories about her.
Like
Horrible
horrible
how?
that happened to her, or
Yeah.
horrible?
Like she went down, like she was, cute little 4th grade girl when I knew her, but she ended up making other life decisions along the way.
It
and,
was hard.
and he happened to be a part of some of those. And he was talking, I'm just like, oh my God. So it's like, the straight A student in 4th grade it was like, oh wow. So sometimes that rabbit hole, we all want to know what's going on. And maybe there's a part where we just like, hey, I have a good memory about that back then.
Yeah.
Leave it alone.
Yeah. Is that not true?
Yeah. Remember pen pals? Did you guys ever do that?
He never wrote me back.
Oh, Sean.
And then I called him, and he's like, "What do you want?" I was like, "I want to be your
oh.
friend." He's like, "Okay, I have to go."
You're shitting me right now.
Not quite. That was pretty close to that.
Where did he live?
It's 5th grade, California.
Oh, mine
We
was
lived in the same town. We were pen pals,
Oh, that's cute.
but it was like a multi-school project thing, and so
yeah.
and so it was like I reached out to him, and he's like, "Oh, hey, I'm playing Nintendo, so I gotta go." And I'm like, "Okay,
Nintendo.
if you don't want to be my friend,
I don't have any friends.
I'll play some tetherball."
I still have tried tetherball. I still have tried to get friends that are from my generation. I've sent letters to 3 or 4 friends in the
Like
last
real
few
letters?
years. Actual letters
On paper and pen?
Yes.
Who does that
to-
anymore? That's amazing.
Dear
to
friend from the
spark,
past, here I write you on the battlefield.
there are
in
people
my-
I talk to, and they're
Yeah.
friends on Facebook. My
Yeah.
girlfriend Jeanette, I did that with her. I did it with my friend Lori. And what I got back was, this is such a great idea, but I am too effing busy to I just can't do it. It's just too easy to.
Interesting.
And
The
I
world
thought
of
it was really
convenience.
interesting because for me, being on social media or reading the news online is
Yeah.
way different than opening a book. Remember the library and how it smelled when you went in there as in elementary school?
Like homeless
still
guys.
I
smells-
remember that kind of just that old paper and there's that. That's checking out a book from the library is an event. It's going to the library.
Yeah.
It's finding the book. It's smelling the book. It's reading it and not be, can't
I'm
wait to get
surprised
home.
we still have
to
libraries, to be
me
honest
too.
with you. And the postal
And
service.
it was the same thing with writing letters. It was the same thing for me that you sit down. It's an event. You probably maybe pour a glass of wine or something, and you just start to reminisce and talk about this and that. And
Yes, me as a 5th grader with a glass of wine with my pen pal.
I'm not talking
Give
about
me
that. I'm
more
talking about
grape
as
juice,
an
Bob.
adult because you guys were both like, why were you doing that? How dumb is that? Anyway, I
So-
enjoyed it.
But I have to say that, I got online. So this was 96, 97. So we have internet starting up. I was in my early 20s going back to school. Learning how to get on the internet, learning how to chat, learning how to talk to people on the internet changed my communication skills.
Okay.
I have
How so?
horrible handwriting.
Yeah.
I can't write worth crap, letters and all that stuff. Boom. But once I got online typing, all of a sudden I learned to type. I learned to talk. I learned to tell
That's
stories.
interesting.
And so I developed this skill that my parents were forcing upon me throughout my early years. They sent me to community college for typing class my freshman year in high school and all these things to learn how to type. And it wasn't until I can talk to a girl online that I had to learn, I need to learn how to type away. And so that ended up opening the doorway to online dating and talking and communicating. And then here we are today.
Yeah.
some
So
years
when you
later.
text, do you say things like IOIC or
acronym.
how are you?
BRB.
No, I've gotten
your
to-
BRB.
If I'm typing via keyboard on a computer, I will probably spell most things out. So
Yeah.
I'm not doing acronyms. I'm finding myself using more voice to text now.
Yeah, me too.
Because I'm just too lazy and the keyboard's too small and I can just set it up.
And I don't even have time to edit it before I press send. And all I back it up with is, if there's anything wrong with this message, I hope you understand it because I'm speak texting.
But I
You
got-
can tell when somebody's doing that because when somebody says okay with their voice in a text, it comes out with both capital letters. There's certain little things you can tell, oh, this is being recited and not
spoken to.
But I
Yeah.
have a goal that I've been waiting to tell people. So I turned 50 in a couple of years.
Whoa, couple years.
you're old.
Yeah, I know. I'm wondering if I want to see if I can scrub myself off the internet and take all social
Define
media.
scrub.
Like remove accounts,
Yes.
remove my name, remove my active presence on the internet by the time I'm 50.
Really?
How deep are you going to dive
Yeah,
into that?
I'm
Well, a
worried
couple
about
years
you.
ago, I went through my Twitter and I just deleted every single tweet I'd ever made. So I have a Twitter account with no tweets. So you can do the same thing with Facebook. That would take forever, but I can just close down Facebook. But I can close down my YouTube. I can change my Google. I can
Yeah.
and pretty soon I'm not on, 85
You're
pages
off
of
grid.
searches. I'm off the grid. And so I have this in the back of my mind. I'm like,
What's the goal in that? Why do you want to do it?
I don't know, just to remove it. It's
Detach.
like cleaning house.
Yeah.
Clean out all the bad fruit from the fridge.
Yeah. I see that.
And then say, contact people and say, I need your phone number, your address, your email. I'm going, quote, off the grid, but I want to be able to contact you if I need. And then maybe even leave a small portal on the internet to say, if you're looking for me, this is how you do it. Send a postcard.
That's neat. And I mean, you can still stay
I
in
like it.
touch. I mean, I'm interested to know.
I think
how
it should be a
rolls out for
social
you.
challenge. Like you should invite others to do that with you. I would do
I wonder
it.
how many likes I can get by doing that.
Right?
Okay, viewers and listeners, hell. My thing is I want to leave off with saying there's nothing wrong. Just be responsible in your use. Contact human life, like call, connect, touch the person. Don't just live virtually in this world, because human interaction is how we're built. We're social species, people. And I have to give credit to the makers and the developers and the engineers that made the world more connected in a longer place with social media. There is so much goodness in it. Those vultures and those demons and those leeches. Just find your own little website and stay on it.
Nothing hurts worse than when your kid tells you to put your phone down. When they go, I'm talking to you.
Oh, all right, you guys. We love you.
Bye.
Oye, bye.
You've been listening to Whack-A-Mole with Tina B and Charmaine G. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Watch us on YouTube and subscribe to us on iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Join us next time for, well, whatever may happen with Tina B and Charmaine G on Whack-A-Mole. This has been a production from A Podcast Studio.